Good morning, everybody. Justin, how are you today, my friend? All right. Good to have everybody here today on this Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. It is Wednesday. Craziness. Yeah. We got some stuff to talk about today. Yeah. Good morning, Diane Pearson. Good morning, Donna. Hi, everybody. Good. It's good to have everybody with us. My name is Nick Stewart. This is Sunrise Santa Rosa. Welcome to the program. Welcome to you. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you to Milton Post for hosting. Telephone number to call is 850-771-0049. You can also text in, but no pronouns. No pronouns. That puts you in the bad house. All right. I had the Milton City Council meeting last night. Took in new members. Interesting turn of events after that. Comments from the mayor. All right. Your forecast for today. Partly cloudy this morning, increasing clouds with periods of shower this afternoon, high near 79, chance of rain 60%. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms early, then mainly cloudy overnight with thunderstorms likely. Gusty winds, small hail possible, low around 65, chance of rain overnight 90%. Then tomorrow, thunderstorms likely in the morning, with a chance of scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon. Gusty winds, small hail are possible again, high near 75, chance of rain tomorrow 80%. Presently, it is 57 in Milton. It is 61 in Navarre, 67 in Gulf Breeze, and 61 in Pensacola. Hi. No, but you're good today. All right. Good Wednesday morning, Katie. All right. Let us know what's going on. The telephone number is live, 850-771-0049. You must dial 850 to get through. Please do not text to the phone number. Because when I'm on the show, I can't see it. Just text on the screen if you're going to do that. And again, no pronouns. None pronouns. All right. We've got, there's just tons of stuff going on. Man, just kind of weird news. But first of all, Milton has two new city council members. Robert Leake, he'll represent Ward 3, and Sherry Sebastio will represent Ward 4. The appointments came after about an hour of discussion with the candidates following the resignations of Sharon Hawley and George Jordan last month. The council had 60 days to appoint new council members to fill each of the seats. The city council had a little more than a week to review the candidates' applications, ask questions, make decisions about who would best serve in each of the spots. The council ranked each candidate during the meeting, and the current city council members made a motion for the candidate with the top ranking. Leake, a Navy veteran and operator of Leake Small Engine and Scoops Ice Cream Business. He's there, Milton. And Sebastio is a small business owner, longtime civic activist who's worked with special education children, sat on several Milton boards, and she actually ran against Sharon Hawley in 2018 for Hawley's seat. And now she's got it. Did it freeze? Did I freeze up there, Elizabeth? Sorry. Was I doing the dance? I don't know. But so anyway, we got the two new city council members. Very happy about that. Congratulations to them. And so I wasn't there, but I understand that the mayor just at the end just kind of went off about how she's right and everybody's wrong. That was what was told to me. So yes and yes, it did freeze, and I was in the dance. Good. So you've got to. Is that a Hail Mary at the end of the game? I mean, you've got to face facts now that you may not have a city council that agrees with you at all. And how do you move forward? Do you spend time berating them with some kind of endless, mindless rant? Or do you work to better the city? Kim says the mayor can't help herself. Yeah, so I don't know. So what was the subject of the rant? But what is your goal now? What is your end game? Do you decide within yourself, I'm going to make this work? Or do you decide within yourself, I'm going all in. I'm going to waste so much time. With what? With what is my point? And to what purpose does it do it? And do city council members have to stick around? Once city business is done, even though the meeting has not been dismissed, if city business is done and you're just listening to someone chide you, is that necessary? Is it necessary to stick around for that? It's a rerun. It's a rerun at that point. I don't know. It's always about her. I get it. I get it. But it's not. It doesn't help. Number one. And so what do you do? 850-771-0049. I just, stop it. A 19-year-old man from Hot Springs, Arkansas, faces sexual assault charges after having intercourse with a 14-year-old student. Let me find this guy's picture. There he is. Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office arrested Cordell Walker Cowan on Monday. The investigation began in June 2020 when a laboratory report from a crime analysis for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement was conducted and found probable cause of Cowan engaging in sexual intercourse with a minor. Cowan was arrested and taken into Santa Rosa County Jail and charged with one count of sexual battery without force or violence, engaging in sexual intercourse with a 14-year-old juvenile. So, that is difficult. I'm just saying. They go to high school together or whatever. I understand. Let me see. Is she ever going to resign, or do we have to kick her out? That's Donna. Elizabeth says maybe she'll be nobody like me. I'm going to eat some worms. Oh, nobody likes me. I'm going to eat some worms. Gotcha. I think that's what's going on. I just don't feel that that's helpful. Those kinds of things. Mayor never changed. She said the council intrudes on how she conducts the meeting. All right. So we don't have a strong mayor in Milton. It's not, and I don't mean that as a slam. The form of government. It's council, and the mayor is there to facilitate the meeting, to host, and to do the Robert's Rule of Orders and that kind of thing. It's not about imposing your will. Oh, we did that one. All right. What else is going on? Last week, several homeless people got red warning signs slapped on their car windows. Code enforcement gave them 5 days to move their cars or have them towed. But for some of these folks, that's where they live. Advocate for the homeless Michael Kimbrell says when he heard about the warnings, he immediately went to the city. And it all stemmed from that encampment underneath I-10. In January, the city ordered people living in the Hollis T. Williams Park to evacuate. After public outcry, the council decided to allow people to live there at least 90 more days. Kimbrell says after bringing up his latest concerns, the city of Pensacola also agreed to help have the cars removed or registered. Both of these vehicles, the people who own them are living in them. So these are their homes, he said, Kimbrell. If the vehicles were to get impounded, the chances are they'd never get their vehicles back again. They'll just fall further into homelessness. Now, I don't understand how you fall further into homelessness. Homelessness is pretty much the bottom. I don't know if you fall further into homelessness. Cassandra says the mayor is the last one carrying the Thompson torch. Is it the last one? And since it looks like the rest of the council is not that, what kind of nightmare scenario is that for the mayor? Donna says, "What's the difference between living in their car and living in an RV?" There's kind of lots. She allows mentally enraged public speakers to attack the council officials. Well, again, Katie, whether they shouldn't be allowed to speak anyway. There should be an agenda. They have an agenda, and as part of that agenda, we have a special guest speaking, and this is what they're speaking about. And that's it. That's it. It's a recurring nightmare. Yeah. You don't know that, Donna, that a car doesn't have a bathroom. Coffee cans. Have you been on a trip with my father? I think the mayor loves the drama and theatrical. Now let me. I don't know. Let me say this. I like her personally. Okay, I don't agree with some of the things she does. A lot of the things she does. I don't know if she likes the drama or the theatrical. I think she is frustrated. I'll put it that way. Time to move persons to appear to the end of the meeting again. Okay, so if we can get the meetings down below 2 hours, yeah, that's fine. And I don't think that if you have a special guest speaker, they get unlimited time. No unlimited time. That goes away. Yeah, but and George should not have been allowed. He should not have been allowed. I want to know what you're speaking about. Do not alter from that. And if they do, you shut their mic off. If they don't quit at that point, then you have somebody call them out. She must love it or she would not allow it. I think that frustration drives that. I do. Rants last. But there shouldn't be rants. There shouldn't be rants. Controlled discussion, yes. Rants, no. So you got 3 minutes for rants, right? If you are a citizen, you got 3 minutes for rants. But a guest speaker should not be a rant. Not. Maybe some of the land is. I keep freezing. I apologize. George was yelling in the audience last night. Then that is unacceptable. Was he gavelled? Was he corrected from the bench? First Amendment rants for 3 minutes. Yeah. Oh my. Okay. Well, I don't know. So, but you get it. There needs to be. Look, if you want to be in control, you want to run the meeting. Run the meeting. More people would listen. I found if you temper your responses. Maybe don't have a comment about everything, or don't have a I feel this at the end of every meeting. Don't do that. No one should yell from the audience. Absolutely no one should yell from the audience. Yeah, well, you got what you got. Our president is too. President is an embarrassment as well. You should only speak with permission and acknowledgement. Absolutely. And then adhere to the rules. But we don't always do that. All right. So the Florida Department of Health in Santa Rosa County has issued a rabies alert for the J area. The alert is in response to a report of a positive result for rabies in a fox on Monday. There's also a rabies alert issued for the Pace area earlier this month. The rabies alert will be in effect for the next 60 days. Bears are becoming more active. Gotta love that. It's springtime. The bears are going to be out. Florida residents and visitors need to remove food attractants to reduce the negative interactions with bears and other wildlife. They're coming out of their winter dens. They're searching for food, feed the babies. Secure trash, pet food, bird feeders, other food items that could attract a bear to your yard or neighborhood. Female bears give birth to 12-ounce cubs near the end of January, and now they're beginning to travel with their young, which are around 5 to 10 pounds, and they're cute. Don't touch them. As the cubs continue to grow, the family unit will roam farther and likely to be observed by people more often. Black bears are generally not aggressive, but they have injured people, so never intentionally approach any bear. When walking dogs, keep them close to you, preferably on a non-retractable leash. Be aware of your surroundings. Dogs can trigger defensive behaviors in bears. Keep bears away from your home and your neighborhood. Follow these tips. Secure your household garbage in sturdy shed or garage, or a wildlife-resistant container. Put household garbage out in the morning pickup rather than the night before. Modify your existing garbage can to make it more bear-resistant. Secure commercial garbage and bear-resistant dumpsters. Protect gardens, beehives, compost, and livestock with electric fencing. Encourage your homeowners association or local government to institute bylaws or ordinances to require trash to be kept secure from bears. Don't do that. Don't get the homeowners association involved. I hate that. Food pets indoors or bring in leftover food dishes after feeding outdoors. Clean grills and store them in a secure place. Remove wildlife feeders or make them bear resistant. Pick ripe fruit from trees and bushes and remove fallen fruit from the ground. And it's illegal in Florida to harm, intentionally feed bears, or have food out or garbage that will attract bears and cause human-bear conflicts. So, what kind of bear is best? Is this a dad joke? What is it? What kind of bear is best? What kind of bear is best? Yogi Bear? What is it, Justin? You've got me intrigued now. Oh my! The mayor is quick to shut up the council member, but she allows these troublemakers to speak. It's backwards. It is backwards. But it's those who are speaking to what she wants, and I kind of get that. Care Bear, to your response, Justin. I don't know. You're leaving me hanging. Narcotics search warrant is executed Monday at 2 Pelham Road apartments by the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office turned up large amounts of cocaine and heroin, as well as a stolen firearm. The renter of the units, 36-year-old Travis McLemore, is now charged with possession of a weapon by a convicted felon, trafficking in cocaine, and trafficking in heroin. Here he is. There we go. Oops. These pictures are too wide. Let me get it out of the way so you can see Travis. Yeah, there he is. Area residents had complained about suspected narcotics activity at the complex. So he was turned in by neighbors. Bye. Get rid of him. Santa Rosa County Planning and Zoning Director Sean Ward confirmed to the News Journal that the company official submitted building plans for an Aldi. Aldi's. There you go. The plans have yet to be reviewed by staff. Tom Bray-Lee, the county's development review supervisor, said the plans are for a 20,000 square foot single-story standalone structure. We're currently working on reviewing the plans for compliance with the Florida Building Code, which ought to take a long time. So Aldi's coming to an area near you. Navarre location. There you go. A corrections officer has been arrested for allegedly smuggling drugs into the Scabic County Road Prison in Cantonment. Let me get rid of this and put his picture up. Here he is. Smuggling drugs. No bueno. Byron Germain Banks, 29, is charged with 2 felony counts of smuggling contraband into a detention facility. An arrest report says that deputy responded to the detention facility on March 29th in reference to found narcotics. Another corrections officer at the facility says during a security check, he found an inmate, Alexander Maynard, in possession of a Ziploc bag containing green leafy substance and several other narcotics, the report states. He said Maynard said the narcotics belonged to another inmate. Maynard was arrested and then taken to a Escambia County jail where he was charged with possession of methamphetamine, possession of cocaine, and smuggling contraband. The report adds Maynard told deputies Banks met him in the box or an area outside the view of cameras to hand him narcotics in a potato chip bag, which when he came back into camera view had a bulge in his pants. Are those spicy Cheetos? Are you happy to see me? I'm 12 today. I'm 12. Did Justin ever answer he never answered it. What kind of bear is best? I don't know. Manatees are dying across Florida at an alarming rate. In just the first 3 months of the year, more than 600 have been killed. Nearly 7 manatee deaths a day. That's according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. The numbers are so high, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association has declared the deaths a marine mammal unusual mortality event. That's quite the mouthful. At the Manatee Critical Care Center at Zoo Tampa, 21 sick, injured, or orphaned manatees are being cared for. The facility is one of 4 manatee hospitals in the state, and they're all close to max capacity. There's a push to figure out what's causing the ongoing die-off in the sea cows. The numbers are much higher on the east coast of the state, where the manatees are starving from lack of seagrass. It's got to be global warming. It's global warming. We need someone to replace Shari Video. Yeah, I know. Maybe someone can do that. I do have a solution for the sound to make the sound better. So if whoever decides to do that will contact me, that way the video audio for the video will be better, a little stronger, be able to hear even, so just contact me. We'll get you set up. Hook you up like HBO. 850-771-0049. What else is going on? Oh, this. All right. What did I do? There we go. Minnesota police made more than 60 arrests for rioting and other offenses during protests for Daunte Wright on Tuesday night in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. Officers made many arrests for riot and other criminal behaviors, Minnesota State Patrol Colonel Matt Langer said in a news conference Wednesday morning. The behaviors that we continue to see are unacceptable, and we're not going to tolerate them. It's not acceptable. It will not be tolerated if you choose to do criminal activity and destroy property and throw objects and make it unsafe for people to come and exercise the First Amendment rights. Langer said he didn't have exact numbers of how many had been arrested. One report was over 60. Now, Daunte Wright, the man at the center of all this controversy, the 20-year-old black man shot by a police officer in Minneapolis suburbs Sunday afternoon, had an open warrant for his arrest related to an aggravated armed robbery attempt when he was killed, according to our court records. Here's what the little angel did. Now, we know that Daunte has his angel wings now. He was murdered by police, and so he has gone to heaven. He is an innocent life snuffed out by the evil police. Wright and another man identified as Amaje Maurice Driver, a high school acquaintance, had both been charged with first-degree aggravated robbery in December 2019 incident in Acesso, Minnesota. According to the documents, Wright and driver went to a party in an apartment about 5 miles from Brooklyn Center. Around 2:30 a.m., two women at the home told Wright and driver they needed to leave, but the two men said they did not have a ride. The women reportedly allowed Wright and driver to spend the night. In the morning, one of the two women left the apartment to get $820 in cash to pay the other for rent. After paying rent, she went to work. Wright and driver were waiting for their rides. The other woman who stayed behind said Wright allegedly blocked the door, preventing her from leaving. Wright then allegedly pulled a black handgun with silver trim from either his right waistband or his right coat pocket. He pointed it at the woman and demanded the $820. The victim asked him, "Are you serious?" To which he responded, "Give me the effing money. I know you have it." When she asked again if he was serious, the angel allegedly told her, "I'm not playing around." Wright then allegedly choked the woman while trying to pull the cash out from under her bra, where she had tucked it away. Court documents say she was able to pry herself loose and started to kneel down and scream. She told authorities that she allegedly heard driver tell her to give the money to Wright and was yelling at her to stop screaming. She reportedly screamed at them to get out of her apartment, telling them that the cops were close. Wright allegedly told her that he would shoot her and said, "Give me the money and we'll leave. Give me the money and we will go." The angel allegedly tried to choke her a second time and tried to take her money, according to the court documents. Driver allegedly told her to give Wright the money. The two men left the apartment, got into a white Cadillac, and left the scene without the money. The woman later identified Wright and driver via photo lineups. Wright was later arrested and released on a $100,000 bail. As a condition of his release, he was not to have contact with the victims or witnesses, had to refrain from drugs and alcohol, and could not possess a firearm. He was revoked in July, his bail, because he allegedly possessed a firearm and was not keeping in touch with his probation officer. That's what angels do. And he was shot and killed while resisting arrest for that outstanding warrant. That's what angels do. And the police officer is evil. And the city deserves to be burned down because this angel was shot and killed for resisting arrest. I wanted you to have the complete picture here. A congresswoman from Missouri claimed Tuesday night that a white Minnesota police officer accused of killing a black man would have known the difference between her service weapon and a stun gun if shooting victim Duante Wright wasn't a black boy. Democratic U.S. Rep. Cori Bush, let me find her stupid pictures. You know what we're looking at. Whoops. Did I freeze? Oh, I don't have it. Okay. She said in an accusation, a Twitter message referring to former Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Potter, who police say mistakenly used her gun instead of a stun gun on Sunday. Bush also scoffed at the notion that more training for police might have prevented the shooting death. The 26-year veteran cop, former president of the police union, doesn't know the difference between a taser and a gun, Bush wrote. And you say more training would fix this? Nah, Bush continued, but I bet she would have known the difference if Duante wasn't a black boy or if he was her loved one. So, this Cori Bush from Missouri knows better. So that warrant was a felony, and he was a fleeing felon. Yes. Angel, I think the left thinks people are stupid. I know you're not going to get the whole story on why he was wanted. He was a 19-year-old thug. Black Lives Matter issued a forceful statement Tuesday in defense of its self-described Marxist co-founder over recent purchases of multi-million-dollar properties, plural. According to multiple reports, Patrice Khan Cullors recently bought a $1.4 million home in an exclusive Los Angeles neighborhood where just 1.4% of residents are black. The home was one of 4 she had purchased on the parent property spending spree totaling $3.2 million. BLM defended Colors in a statement suggesting that any scrutiny of the high-profile activist stemmed from racism. If you say anything about her buying homes, you're a racist. God, what's wrong with you people? Patrisse Cullors is the executive director of Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. She serves in this role in a volunteer capacity and does not receive a salary or benefits. And yet she can afford multiple multi-million-dollar homes. Patrisse has received a total of $120,000 since the organization's inception in 2013 for duties such as serving as spokesperson and engaging in political education work. Patrisse did not receive any compensation after 2019. So then that requires an investigation into where she got her millions of dollars to buy those homes. Patrisse's work for Black people over the years has made her and others who align with her with a fight for Black liberation targets of racist violence. The narratives being spread about Patrisse have been generated by right-wing forces intent on reducing support and influence of a movement that's larger than any one organization. You're a racist, but you knew that. You knew that already. You knew that already. Conservative journalist Jason Whitlock was suspended by Twitter after he criticized Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors for her $1.4 million home purchase in a 1.4% Black Topanga Canyon, Southern California. But Whitlock insisted Monday he has no intention of bowing to the social media giant in order to get his account unblocked. I'm not running to go post Twitter bail when I did nothing wrong. Here is Whitlock. If I can get this up here. Okay, here we go.
We've been talking about Black Lives Matter, man. Black Lives Matter has gotten you and I in trouble with Twitter over the last couple of days, man. First of all, man, are you still in Twitter jail, man, or did you get out yet?
I'm still in Twitter jail because I won't post bail.
Oh!
I won't post bail. I'm not sure if I'm gonna post bail. You know, because Curtis, we did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And so I'm not running to go post Twitter bail when I did nothing wrong. The information, you know, obviously the background is you tweeted out, I think on Thursday, about
Patrisse Cullors purchasing the $1.4 million house in Cali. But go ahead.
Yeah, and so I actually saw it someplace else on Friday and posted a link to, you know, her buying this $1.4 million house in Topanga or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I went and looked up that the house cost $1.4 million and Topanga has a Black population of 1.4%.
Black Lives Matter, but I don't want to live around you, Negro.
You think there's a bunch of Black cops in this area? And so she's gonna have plenty of white cops and white people to complain about. And so I just find it hypocritical. And so I posted the link and said she's with her people. You had called me at some point, or we had talked some point Friday, like, hey, they just put me in Twitter jail over my tweet from Thursday. And I was like, man, they ain't done nothing to me, but let's wait and see. And so by the end of the day, Friday, I was in Twitter jail. My account is suspended, and they want you to remove the tweet to start your 12-hour sentence.
So he is, and he's right. So all he did was post, because you got to be kidding me. Look at this woman. And he was taken down for that. Nice. Hawk Newsom, the head of Black Lives Matter in Greater New York City, called for an independent investigation in how the global network spends its money after BLM co-founder Patrisse Cullors spent $3.2 million on homes in predominantly white neighborhoods. If you go around calling yourself a socialist, you have to ask how much of her own personal money is going to charitable causes, he told the Post. It's really sad because it makes people doubt the validity of the movement and overlook the fact that it's people that carry this movement. And so she is hurting her own cause. And that, my friends, is the truth. It is the truth. Pretty crazy. All right. New research from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suggests that people who receive Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine might experience more side effects than those who get the Pfizer BioNTech's vaccine. It's true. The agency findings come from a study published in the online journal JAMA. Researchers gathered data from December 2020 to February 2021 from CDC's Safe Surveillance System, which monitors the reports adverse reactions to the COVID-19 vaccines through self-reporting surveys. The data released revealed that 75% of Moderna recipients reported side effects after getting one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, compared to 65% of the Pfizer. Side effects included pain at the injection site, fatigue, and headaches. Now, Johnson & Johnson has been put on pause because a woman died and others have suffered some severe side effects. Governor DeSantis says he'll follow the recommendations by the Center for Disease Control and put a hold on Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccinations in Florida. They called for the pause to investigate reports of serious blood clots that showed up in 6 women within 2 weeks of receiving the vaccine. All 6 cases are in women between the ages of 18 and 48. More than 6.8 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine have been administered. Because of that, Community Health Northwest Florida has canceled the Johnson & Johnson vaccination clinic previously scheduled for Wednesday, today, at the former Bell's location, per today's recommendation from the FDA and CDC, until additional guidance is received. No Johnson & Johnson vax. They're ceasing that out of an abundance of caution while they review the cases and assess their political significance or potential. Freudian slip. Their potential significance. Now, they think that this move will cause vaccine hesitancy because it feeds into people's natural anxiety. That's Sarah Fortunum, the chair of the Immunology and Infectious Disease Department at Harvard's T.H. Chan School. That said, the apparent risk of one of these is very serious complications, about 1 in a million. So when people think about their own personal risk, it's exceptionally low. I got a question. So death from COVID is extremely low, but the risk is very high. The risk of death from the shot is very low, but the risk is very low. You see? The most recent public opinion poll showed that vaccine hesitancy was starting to wane among some Americans, except you white evangelical Christians. By late March, more than half of respondents were either vaccinated or eager to get a shot as soon as possible. Those who said they were unlikely to get the vaccine declined to 1/5 from a quarter of respondents in December. So is the shot safe? If 1 has died and 6 have become seriously ill, is that, out of millions, is that cause for alarm? Why is the government freaking out? Why are they doing this? And is hesitancy, I don't know, it's going to be an issue. Donna says, whoops, she walked into Walmart and they were giving little babies under the age of 2 vaccines. What? Coronavirus? Proud to be a white evangelical Christian and unvaccinated. Go to NASCAR and watch CMT. I'm going to poison 1 M&M instantly and put into a vat of 1 million of M&Ms. Would you? Yeah. You're not really going to do that. I just want to specify. This is not a terrorist threat by John Bacon. He's just giving an example of someone poisoning an M&M, and you understand. Don't want anybody freaking out. I'm trying to help you, John. Yeah. Vaccine was brought into the picture for COVID. COVID was brought into the picture for the vaccine. Yeah. Know what, John? I'm trying to help you. It's an example. You're right. It is an example. I'm protecting you. I want to say he threatened people. According to reports, the teachers union in Chicago is mulling a strike this week over the city's plans to reopen the schools. You can't have us doing our jobs. What are you, crazy? Chicago public school system says that schools will reopen to in-person education by April 19th, but the CTU still claims the coronavirus makes it too dangerous for the teachers to return to the classroom. Didn't you get the vaccine? You should have gotten the vaccine by now. Inside rumors come on the heels of unions' request to allow for a week's delay in the reopening, but the city officials refuse to agree to the union's demands. Still, the CTU has signaled that they do not want to return to the classroom unless there's adequate movement with negotiations with CPS. CTU President Stacey Gates told members that CPS officials are urging the coronavirus and using it reopening as a tactic. So the union says that the school system is using coronavirus as a tactic. We're pushing for our demands to be met. We're going to remain hopeful the table will loosen up and they will meet us halfway. What does that mean? You're either in school or you're not in school. What is halfway? However, CTU Chief of Staff Jennifer Johnson also noted that the union is preparing for a walkout. If we still need to walk out, we have to be prepared to refuse, she said. For this part, CTU President Jesse Sharkey pointed to the rising number of coronavirus cases in the Windy City. And he worries that these numbers pose a danger to returning teachers. Not if you get the vaccine, not the Johnson & Johnson one that gives you blood clots, but the others that are like quasi-effective. If you get the vaccine, if what the government tells us is true, and why would the government lie to us? Why? Why would the government lie to us? If the vaccine is valid and good, then you shouldn't have a problem going back to school. Get the vaccine. Give pay raises and healthcare and childcare or no in-person education. I don't know. Teachers' common sense is less than halfway. Oh, this is political. It's a political move. No doubt. It's a political move. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Researchers from the Ben Gurion University, they say that they've found a cure for COVID-19, a natural cure. A natural cure for COVID-19. They say molecules in kefir. You know what kefir is? It's a liquid yogurt. They're effective at treating various inflammatory conditions, including cytokine storms caused by COVID-19. Kefir, which is similar to yogurt but thinner in consistency, is fermented milk made by inoculating cows or goat's milk with microorganism mixtures, such as yeast and bacteria. Cytokine storms is when the body's immune system goes into overdrive and attacks itself, one of the leading causes of death in COVID-19 patients. Research was conducted by PhD student Orit Malka and Professor Raz Jelnik, Vice President and Dean for Research and Development at BGU. It was recently published in a peer-reviewed journal. One of the main reasons people die of COVID is the cytokine storm. Cytokines are immune molecules that are designed to help the body fight invaders like virus. But in certain circumstances, and scientists don't know exactly why, the body goes into a sort of overdrive and secretes many cytokines, so many that it kills you. And this is what happens during COVID. We knew that we found these molecules in yogurt with anti-inflammatory properties, he said. So when COVID started, we said, let's see if these molecules can help against cytokine storms. and they watched what happens. They did it in mice, and they watched what happened. The mice that had the storms were not treated, died. But the mice that were treated with the molecules they found in the yogurt had a complete recovery. The molecules not only eliminated the cytokine storm, they also restored balance to the immune system. Kefir. Now, let me tell you this from experience. Don't get the regular. You have to get a flavored one to choke it down. But if it works, it works. And it's not a shot that could give you blood clots. I know there will be a conspiracy. There can't be a natural cure. A natural cure. God has a way of doing that. God has a unique way of doing that. Let's drink some yogurt. And kefir is good. You can find that in the store and shake it up real good. But it's not bad. It's like a smoothie. Go get one. But yeah. Also, Israel, remember a couple of months back, they said they could kill the coronavirus in 30 seconds with ultraviolet light. Are you hearing that anywhere? Nope. They said you could kill, they said 99% of coronavirus in 30 seconds with ultraviolet light. Why are people dying needlessly? We got ultraviolet light and we've got kefir. And yet, they're making people take vaccines. Just saying. All right. 850-771-0049. I found that very interesting. I found that absolutely fascinating. All right. So a CNN staffer has admitted to an undercover journalist that his network has been deploying propaganda. No, not CNN. No way. In an effort to damage Rep. Matt Gaetz. In another damning clip released by the right-wing guerrilla news outlet Project Veritas, technical director Charles Chester was asked if CNN uses propaganda on air. Here is that. Let me get rid of the coronavirus stuff. All right, check this out. Whoops. Here you go. Watch this. I'm going to get rid of the overlay. There you go. All right, check it out.
Use propaganda?
Oh no!
Okay, can you define propaganda? Like, I think I know, but like, how is it? What's the mechanism?
What's the mechanism for
If
propaganda?
the agenda say is to like get like Matt Gaetz right now, he's like this Republican, like he's a problem for the Democratic Party because he's so conservative, right? And he can cause a lot of hiccups in passing of laws and whatnot. So it would be great for the Democratic Party to get him out. So we're going to keep running those stories to keep hurting him and make it so that it can't be buried and like just, settled outside of court and just like, if we keep pushing that, it's helping us.
It's helping.
That's
there you go.
It's helping us in some way.
So it's helping them in some way to keep that story alive. And they admit it. Why is CNN still on the air? Why is CNN still on the air? Does anybody have a clue? God bless Project Veritas. They are exposing these frauds, and they love to talk. They love to tell about how smart they are. And, good for Project Veritas. Boo to CNN. Family Endeavors, a nonprofit in Texas, won a contract worth up to $530 million to help the Biden administration during a crisis unfolding along the southern border. Now, it's one of the largest ever for the nonprofit. And it just so happened that it came months after the company hired Andrew Lorenzen Strait. By the way, Strait served as an advisor to the Biden-Harris transition team. That's interesting. You hire Strait and we'll work a deal. And they got $530 million for this nonprofit. And their contract is intended to provide emergency intake and wraparound care at a temporary migrant facility in Texas. Nice. Continuation of services that's conducted for migrant populations since 2012 is what they do. And because you hired a former staffer of the Biden-Harris transition team, you get $530 million. President Biden will address a joint session of Congress for the first time on April 28th. We're not there yet. He could have a bad day. They must think that they'll be able to prop him up, goose him a couple times a day with whatever they're pumping him with, so we can prop him up and give a speech. Where's my card? Come on, man. Somebody give me my card. I write my name on it. Nancy Pelosi issued the formal invitation for Biden to speak. The speech is scheduled to occur 98 days into Biden's first term in office. Nearly 100 days ago, when you took the oath of office, you pledged in a spirit of great hope that help is on the way, Pelosi said in the letter. Now, because of your historic and transformative leadership, help is here. In that spirit, I'm writing to invite you to address a joint session of Congress on Wednesday, April 28th, to share your vision for addressing the challenges and opportunities of this historic moment, she added. Critics have accused the White House of limiting Biden's public appearances once he entered the Oval Office. And even before, the president held his first formal press conference on March 25th, roughly 2 months after his inauguration. Biden will speak as his administration attempts to garner congressional support for $2.25 trillion pork package. It's not a infrastructure package. It is a pork package. It is a wild spending spree. Oh, most corrupt government ever. Think. Newly elected Georgia Democrat Senator Raphael Warnock is in hot water this week after it was revealed that he signed onto a third-party email that contained blatantly false information about the state's new voting law. Washington Post reported on Monday that set the progressive lawmaker who was elected to the Senate in the state's January 5th runoffs. He signed an email sent out by the advocacy group 3.14 Action after the law passed, which claimed it ended no-excuse mail voting and restricted early voting on weekends, both of which were early proposals that ultimately didn't make it into the law. They aren't in there. They're not in there. The outlet added that the spokesperson for the senator claimed Warnock signed off on the email days before the law was passed, when the aforementioned provisions were still under consideration. But that doesn't hold water because the email was sent several days after the bill became law. So he knowingly sent out an email that had false information. Now, I ask you, they're pushing these false narratives about the voting law. Now, are they being blocked by social media? Are they being called out by the news outlet for false information? No. Listen to this. A majority of likely voters, including a majority of black voters, do not believe voter identification laws discriminate. That's according to a Rasmussen report. The vast majority of U.S. likely voters disagree with the Democratic narrative and do not consider basic election integrity measures, such as requiring valid photo identification to vote, as discriminatory in nature. The question was, do laws requiring photo identification at the polls discriminate against some voters? The survey taken on April 11th through the 12th among 1,000 likely U.S. voters asked. A majority, or 62%, said no. 29% said yes. 9% indicated they remain unsure. Notably, 59% of black voters agree that requiring photo ID at the polls is not discriminatory. And 58% of those who did not identify as black or white agreed. Opinions, unsurprisingly, are divided on party lines. 79% of Republicans say voter ID is not discriminatory compared to the plurality of Democrats. 46% who disagreed. 43% of Democrats said the voter ID is not discriminatory, putting the Democrats' opinions between agreeing and disagreeing with the survey within a plus minus of 3%. Look, Americans don't disagree with requiring photo ID at the polls. It doesn't hurt anybody. It hurts cheating. Look, the majority of Americans, no matter what party you're for, I'm not talking Washington, D.C. I'm not talking political hacks. I'm talking Americans. You, me. It doesn't make a difference what party you're in. Everybody wants a fair election. And requiring photo ID, according to the majority of Americans, is not wrong. But the Democrats in Washington, D.C. can't win fairly. So what are the Dems claiming to represent? Chaos. They represent chaos. They want to destroy our system of government. And they are. They are effectively doing so. They went around voter laws to get elected. That's how they got Joe Biden elected, was going around established voting laws. That is not up for debate. That happened. We know that happened. And that's how he got elected. And that's what they will continue to do. Because they can't win any other way. It's an ID. If you don't have an ID, what are you doing voting? Why are you voting if you don't have an ID? You're telling me you don't have a driver's license to drive a car. Well, I don't have a car. Well, you can get a state-issued license. Just an ID. It's like $10. Well, I lied about my age to get into the military. So what? You're telling me those that are veterans that lied about their age to get in the military don't have a driver's license? Come on, man. You're telling me that some kind of weird situation where your last name's not your real last name. I don't know what that even is. But you don't have access. You can't get a birth certificate. You got to have some kind of ID. It's a photo ID. You need it for alcohol. You need it for cigarettes. You need it for anything. You can't fly on an airplane. You can't. I'm telling you what. This whole thing about not having an ID and requiring an ID is racist is the dumbest argument ever. And Dallas says state ID is free in a lot of states. It's not even driver's license. It's just a state ID. It doesn't make a difference. Kevin, if someone doesn't have an ID, I'm sure that we as citizens could kind of scrape up $10 for them. If they have the proper support, you got your birth certificate, well, we'll help you. Now, Delta requires ID to say, yep, I know. And they're wanting to require the vaccine sheet. I got my vaccine to travel. So, look, people, it's bogus. All right, we got to get out of here. Like the video, share it. God bless you. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow on a Thursday. Stay strong.